People are sharing the creepiest unsolved mysteries that they can't stop thinking about. So I decided to look into the details of each one. Brandon Swanson's case always boggled my mind. The fact that he alerted his parents that he was lost and needed help. They were on the phone with him, heading toward him, only to hear his last moments. To know they were so close is so terrifying. Recently, Reddit user uRandomWeeb asked the people of r/Reddit to share the creepiest unsolved mystery that keeps them up at night. After reading through some of these, I will definitely not be sleeping soundly for the next couple of days. Here are the most bone-chilling cases. Warning: disturbing and graphic content ahead. 1. Toni Turner. A popular Pittsburgh artist vanishes. Her belongings are later found on a bridge. Toni is a lover of the arts, an educator, and a loving young woman with a creative spirit. She is irreplaceable, very fun, very loving, very knowledgeable, and very kind. Sydney Turner, Toni's sister. Toni was a full-time fabricator at Studebaker Metals in Braddock, Pennsylvania, as well as a ceramics teacher at the Carnegie Library of Braddock. Beyond that, Toni is a beloved daughter, sister, and friend to many. She loves dancing, studying nutrition, art, and Black history. Toni loved going to concerts in and around Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and is described by loved ones as a loving, kind, caring, and bubbly young woman. If you've gone to concerts in Pittsburgh, you've probably seen Toni in front, dancing her little heart away. Whether she was alone or with friends, that didn't matter to her when it came to dancing. Akayla Bennett, Toni's friend. She had a really magnetic personality. Something I always admired about her is that she was able to meet a person and they'd instantly love her. Alexandra Axe, Toni's friend from high school. She was phenomenally creative. She was also just a really beautiful person to be around. Toni's friend, Malcolm Thomas. Toni visited a local Pittsburgh tea shop on December 30th, 2019. Toni visited Dobra Tea in the Squirrel Hill neighborhood of Pittsburgh late on the afternoon of December 30th, 2019. According to an employee of Dobra Tea, Toni was only in the tea shop for a short period of time before leaving. After leaving the tea shop, Toni hopped on a city bus down the street, presumably heading home. Around this time, Toni was last in contact with her sister, Sydney. Authorities believe that Toni was in the Homestead area of Pittsburgh around 6 p.m. when she last talked to her sister. Toni is seen for the last time at a bus stop. Her belongings are found on a bridge. Toni is last seen exiting a bus at her usual stop on the corner of Hazelwood Avenue and Gidding Street, near her home. Shortly after Toni is last seen exiting the bus, a firefighter walking across the Homestead Grays Bridge finds Toni's purse, shoes, and a ceramic pot. Inside her purse were her keys, cell phone, water bottle, diary, and her wallet. Toni's family believes that from the Homestead Grays Bridge, Toni may have traveled down Interstate 80 near Homestead, Pennsylvania. By the following day, Toni's aunt is contacted by the father of the young man who found Toni's belongings. They were returned to her aunt shortly before noon on December 31st, 2020. Toni's family members began realizing that Toni was missing by that evening. She was reported missing shortly after, and a missing person alert was published by the Pittsburgh Police Department on January 1st, 2020. the search for Tony begins. In the days and weeks following Tony's disappearance, friends and family begin searching the area for any other sign of Tony. Shortly after her disappearance, a tip received by investigators led them to the Hill District of Pittsburgh, approximately 6 miles away from the Homestead Grays Bridge, where Tony's belongings were found, and approximately 2.7 miles from the bus stop she got off at. Nothing is found during any of these searches. But for her to be in the Hill District, totally out of character. I don't even think the buses are awesome here for her. There would be nothing here for Tony, and I know that. Sydney Turner, Tony's sister, where the case stands today. In September of 2020, local Pittsburgh artists Mars Nixon Washington and Sandy Kessler Kaminsky installed a mural of Tony on a building on Braddock Avenue in Pittsburgh in her honor. The mural depicted Tony, along with her birthday and the date she vanished. Along with these details, the following quote is also included: "The missing find solace in our hearts until they are found." The grief manifested into an irresistible fire inside of me to find her in whatever way she returns, she says, disappointed in how Tony has yet to be found after nearly 9 months. Things became silent, and all I wanted to do is scream her name on every street, in every ear, in every neighborhood, in every city, in every country. Mars Nixon Washington, muralist. Since Tony's disappearance, several events have been held in her honor and to raise awareness, including a prayer circle and dance meditation, vigils, a silent walk, and a dance event called Move Through Grief, a dance party and benefit for Tony. Despite the massive effort made by Tony's friends, family, and members of the Pittsburgh community, Tony remains missing without a trace. I hope that the city knows she is loved. We are still searching, and we will find her. I want the world to know that Tony is more than just a missing person. Mars Nixon Washington, muralist. At the time of her disappearance, Tony was described as an African-American/Caucasian woman with black hair that fell to her chin and brown eyes. She is 5'3", tall, and weighed approximately 130 pounds. Tony has piercings in her nose, ears, and chin underneath her bottom lip. She has a tattoo of a spiral pattern on her left shoulder. She was last seen wearing a black zip-up jacket, a gray shirt with habla espinal in orange letters on the back, grayish-colored cargo pants, and possibly a head wrap. If you have any information regarding Tony's disappearance or her whereabouts, please contact the Pittsburgh Police Department's Missing Persons Unit at 412-323-7141. 2. Morgan Nick. A 6-year-old vanishes while at a Little League game. Where is Morgan? That's the question on everyone's mind since her sudden disappearance in 1995. One night, Morgan was at a Little League game with her mom, and some friends asked her to play. Morgan's mom reluctantly said yes, adding in retrospect, "Finally, against my better judgment, I told her that she could go and play, and she threw her arms around my neck and gave me a big hug. We could see them very clearly, and the last time that I turned to look, Morgan was running back and forth playing. That was the last time that Morgan would be seen by her loved ones. When Morgan's friends returned back to their families, Morgan was nowhere to be seen. Apparently, a creepy man was talking to Morgan out in the field, and a red pickup truck vanished at the same time as Morgan. Morgan's mom called 911 immediately and searched all over the grounds as the evening grew into the early morning. It's the worst terror that any parent can ever feel. There's such a sense of it not being real somehow. It does not seem possible that your child could be missing, that someone could have taken your child. Morgan's mother. However, there was no trace of Morgan or the strange man that was just within reach. After searching for Morgan to no avail, Morgan's mother, Colleen, wanted to ensure that no one would ever have to experience missing their child. She founded the Morgan Nick Foundation to educate people on how to handle a missing child and renamed the Arkansas Amber Alert in Morgan's name. In 2023, a new 4-part docuseries about Morgan's case aired on major streaming platform Hulu. Decades of bad information have landed everyone amidst a vortex of misinformation. Bad tips, failed impersonators, and multiple sightings have clouded this investigation. However, when the case was reopened in the 2000s, a solid lead was produced. Some small DNA evidence, witnesses, and a license plate number brought the FBI to one suspect. New evidence has emerged as recently as February 2023 that links Morgan to the person law enforcement has in mind. However, this man died in prison in 2000. Do you think the FBI is on the right track?